What's up everyone, welcome to another camera comparison video. Today we are going to be doing a camera comparison between this iPhone 12 and Xiaomi Mi 10T Pro. Wow, there is already a very big difference in field of view, and I see better dynamic range on iPhone 12 and skin tone is also better on iPhone 12. Please check through this video. And there is another thing, there is an international smartphone giveaway going on for my subscribers, for the subscribers of this channel. So what you have to do is to actually just subscribe to this channel, and if you want, then make a comment. Okay, let's check which one actually performs better. And at the end, if you end up liking this video, then please don't forget to click on the like button. Let's start with bokeh photos, cause this is the most interesting part of this comparison. Both of these two depends on the main sensor for portrait photos, as there is no telephoto lens. When I compare portrait photos, I care about bokeh effect, edge detection, amount of textures processed in the subject, and the separation line. I always mention in my all camera comparison videos, and yes, a lot depends on personal preference. This will be a preference thing for sure. It depends on what you prefer. Like Samara, the model in these pictures, feels she looks better in the images grabbed by iPhone 12. I cannot disagree. And on the same time, I think that doesn't portray reality. After checking a lot of portrait photos taken by these two smartphones, it is clear that there is a difference in white balance and tonal contrast. Mi 10T Pro slightly saturates the color, and surprisingly white balance is a bit warm. Usually iPhone is known for warm color temperature, but here I have found iPhone produced images with cool color temperature. However, iPhone 12 color rendition is a bit far from reality, at least in portrait photos, cause it rendered colors with different tonal contrast and color curve, which indeed made skin tone and the background look better than Mi 10T Pro. Edge detection, edge cutouts, and separation line blend performance randomly jumps back and forth, but iPhone 12 is a bit ahead. Xiaomi Mi 10T Pro most of the time clearly fell behind in edge detection and separation line blend. However, details and dynamic range is a bit better on Mi 10T Pro. From outdoor to indoor, and iPhone being an iPhone start to perform like any other iPhones. White balance is back to its original warm temperature, but exposure and highlights are almost perfect. There are more details in the shadows, and after cropping in, you can see there is a huge difference in details and sharpness. It is unclear why Mi 10T Pro fails under low light, cause Mi 10 Ultra produces very good low light portrait photos. Xiaomi Mi 10T Pro chose to increase highlights and tuned for higher contrast ratio. This hurts in different type of artificial lighting condition. Skin smoothing beauty effect of Xiaomi Mi 10T Pro makes this a bit soft, but look at the images at the right. Yes, iPhone 12 now also have skin smoothing algorithm. For sure, there are more textures processed in the images produced by iPhone 12, but check the color of the clothing. I see true to life color tone in the images taken with Mi 10T Pro. Make no mistake, I'm not talking about the skin tone. Skin tone is of course better on iPhone 12. This is really difficult to judge cause both have some negative points, and after considering my preferences, I would like to go with Mi 10T Pro for outdoor portraits and iPhone 12 for indoor portraits. Then what about night mode portraits? This is important cause iPhone 12 series got this new nighttime portrait mode, which automatically kicks in under dark environment. It's almost the same as usual portrait mode, but it offers long exposure and provides better results. No, there is no change in color grading or white balance. iPhone 12 kept it warm. Mi 10T Pro with unusually cool white balance and overexposure already out of the competition, and its poor edge detection in darkness makes things worse. Now let us crop in. You can see iPhone 12 managed to detect the hair strains and kept it in focus, when Mi 10T Pro totally failed. But it's not a trend cause edge detection actually suffers on both depending on background. But I cannot ignore, iPhone 12 really reproduced true black sky without any noise and grains, and the whole image is way more lucrative than Mi 10T Pro portraits. Yes, subject and the separation line blend is also better on iPhone 12. Okay, you may have been waiting for this comparison between photos taken with the main sensors of these two smartphones. 12 megapixel sensor on iPhone 12 versus 108 megapixel sensor on Xiaomi Mi 10T Pro. All of these pictures were taken on auto mode with AI enabled and auto HDR. Of course, both of these have pro modes, so if you have the time to dial in and switch between options, yes, you can try that and you will get a pro shot of your choice. But most of the general users uses the auto mode, and I feel like this represents true pros and cons of the smartphones. The first difference you'd notice is white balance, and before you make any judgment, iPhone 12 color temperature is actually neither warm nor cool, it's on the perfect line. iPhone 12 rendered colors with a bit saturation, which makes things punchier and lucrative, and along with good exposure, the whole image stands out. It's more like social media ready. On the other hand, Xiaomi Mi 10T Pro white balance is a bit unusual. It doesn't look attractive even if color grading is better. I mean, check clothing of Samara, it's deep black and looks the same as in real life. But wait, skin tone took a nosedive on Xiaomi Mi 10T Pro. Also, I think most of the people won't like the background too, cause it looks a bit pale. Now, the most important part for me is details and shadows, cause while editing you cannot add details. And in terms of details, Xiaomi Mi 10T Pro is well ahead. It even processed more textures with sharpness, and side by side, iPhone 12 photo rather looks a bit soft. Once again, a lot depends on personal preference. Please leave a comment and let me know what's your preference. This is different. These are night mode photos, and before you do any judgment, yes, there was a harsh yellow light blazing on the model. I have intentionally chosen this place. A few days ago, Xiaomi Mi 10 Ultra failed heavily, but to my surprise, Mi 10T Pro actually did better on color rendition. Yes, in terms of color grading and white balance, iPhone 12 was better when compared to Mi 10 Ultra, and it's still better. But when we crop in, we can see there is a big difference. Mi 10T Pro actually processed more textures, whole image is sharper with more details in the shadows. You may have also noticed that the background got a bit blurry on the images taken with Mi 10T Pro. It's mainly due to two factors, bigger sensor size and focal length. But iPhone 12 comes with bigger aperture, and in night mode photos, two things are very important. First, noise removing algorithm, which worked perfectly on iPhone 12. With long exposure and better aperture, it reproduced true to life sky color without noise and grains. Number 2, identifying well lit areas. This is also important, which Xiaomi Mi 10T Pro failed like any other Xiaomi devices, and that hurts overall exposure of the image. I think I like iPhone 12 nighttime photos over Xiaomi Mi 10T Pro. I know a lot of you may not agree with me, and yes, I totally respect your preference. These video clips were recorded at 1080p 30 frames per second at the morning under bright daylight. If you don't know yet, then yes, both iPhone 12 and Mi 10T Pro got OIS in main sensor and offers very good stabilization while recording at 1080p 30 frames per second. Dynamic range is better on iPhone 12. Not only that, skin tone is close to reality and colors are vibrant and true to life. On the other hand, Mi 10T Pro color tone is a bit saturated, exposure and contrast ratio is also not as good as iPhone 12. Yes, I agree, iPhone 12 continued with its warm color tone, and in certain conditions, it's not lucrative. Okay, I'm not going to describe these selfie photos cause there is an international smartphone giveaway going on for subscribers of this channel. I would choose someone based on valid and descriptive comments. Why don't you try to differentiate between these selfie pictures and make a comment? The first thing you'd notice in ultra-wide photos is field of view. FOV is wider on iPhone 12, and then you'd notice that no matter whether outdoor or indoor, iPhone 12 kept the trend of warm tone, and Mi 10T Pro also kept the trend of overexposure in ultra-wide photos. iPhone 12 actually is not like other flagships. In my other camera comparison, it almost beaten Xiaomi Mi 10 Ultra, and here it clearly beaten Xiaomi Mi 10T Pro. There are a few differences like white balance and saturation, skin tone in outdoor environment under bright daylight and in indoor environment under low light changes randomly. Details and textures also jumps back and forth. Sometimes iPhone 12 and sometimes Mi 10 Ultra managed to process more details. Only if iPhone 12 could manage to reproduce images with less saturation, and if it could grab more details consistently, then it would be pleasing for all iPhone 12 owners. Cause it costs a lot more than many other flagships. These clips were recorded at 4K 60 frames per second. I think Mi 10T Pro produced this video with better white balance. In terms of details, sharpness and color rendition, I would again choose Mi 10T Pro. What do you think? Do you agree? Okay, it's time to wrap up, and the truth is Mi 10T Pro did good, but not as good as iPhone 12 in all the segments. Please comment and let me know what do you think. Also, if you have liked this video, then please don't forget to click on the like button and subscribe to this channel.